worked on for this particular initiative was the course called Music in the Elementary School. And Music in the Elementary School is a course for pre-service elementary education majors, and it's one of the courses they take in their first semesters in their kind of core of ed. So you can jump to the next slide. Okay, so here's kind of an overview of what the course is. It's divided into 3 units. The first unit is sort of talking about children's musical development, musical standards, fundamentals of music. We're sort of laying some content groundwork because a lot of the elementary majors come in with varying levels of music education background themselves. So we lay some groundwork. And then in Unit 2, we really get into focusing on engaging children with music, where the students do a lot of peer teaching related to focused on different artistic processes, so performing, responding, creating. And then they go out into the field and they teach a music lesson in the school. So the first 2 chunks of this class generally gone really well, great feedback from the students, we're rocking and rolling. And the third unit, which is our arts integration unit, as I've been teaching this class, that's the part of the course that I wanted to improve. So that's what I brought to this initiative, was that chunk of the course. So in the arts integration portion of the course, what I wanted to work on was to get some more concrete, practical focus there, right? So have more of an experiential learning experience like we do in the second unit, where we build up to going out into the field and working with children in the school. So as part of my work for this project, I was trying to find an off-campus site that would allow us to think about arts integration more meaningfully. So is there a teacher who's doing some great arts integration? Is there a school? And what that led me to was the Alabama Blues Project, which is a community music organization that this year, coincidentally, collaborated on a grant with Matthews Elementary School, which is a county elementary school. And they're doing a year-long program of blues music education. And they themselves, the organization and what they present, are doing some integrative work. But what I found is that the teachers who are collaborating with them aren't necessarily hooked very tightly into that work. So it's kind of they're coming in and doing the program. So I thought that could be a great opportunity for my class to use that as a case study. So to use that as the case study, so I'll get more into that. So the learning outcomes based on experiential learning are to examine resources and technologies for music education, understand the theory and practice of arts integration, and ultimately design some interdisciplinary lessons. Good job. Okay, so the problem that I'm presenting them with is that they need to design learning experiences that meaningfully integrate music and other subjects. So that's sort of the challenge, is how do you balance finding a good fit between music and other subjects. So what they're going to do is examine models of arts integration and look at this case study of the Alabama Blues Project. And their task is to imagine for themselves that they are a teacher in that school and they want to hook into the work that the arts organization is doing and bring that into their classrooms, particularly in social studies and language arts. So they're going to look at materials and resources for teaching blues in those 2 content areas. So they're going to have to choose some anchor texts and find learning objectives and standards that really meld music and that other content area. And in order to evaluate their curricular work, they're going to be using this criteria of good fit between the 2 subjects. They'll be doing some peer evaluation, and obviously I'll be doing some evaluation, and then they're going to do some reflecting on their work. You can jump. Okay. So, so what they'll actually be doing is a series of assignments that's going to help them interact with other teachers who have worked on blues as a entry point, or looked at blues as history, or using blues texts for language arts. And they're going to do a series of assignments related to the case study. We're going to do these temporal episodes on campus, bringing in some of the teaching artists from the Blues Project, and then we're going to go out to the school and observe the Blues Project in action. And then their performances are going to be mini lessons focusing on music and other subjects, and then their final project is them designing a lesson that integrates blues into language arts or social studies. Okay, so my remaining challenges are scheduling and field placement. This is always a bugaboo, and it just takes a lot of time. And then ongoing questions, sort of curricular questions for me, is that historically, In previous, when I've taught this class, I've had them do, we've gotten into project-based learning design, and that's sort of, we just got, one of the messages that stuck with me from one of our presentations was was not to do more, but do better or something, or do different. That's what he said, right? Don't do more, do different, right? So I felt like things were getting a little bit tight trying to add in this curriculum design and project-based learning. So we're going to sort of skim that, and their final project is going to be a lesson. And so I still have some questions about the impact of that on their overall understanding of the subject. I think it's going to be a bit more feasible for them to think about it in terms of a lesson and then in terms of a unit or a project. So those are some ongoing curricular questions that I have.
It looks like you've really been able to integrate problem solving and experiencing learning, and I know that was a challenge.
Framing it in terms of, I mean, I guess those were like conceptual problem, like framing it as terms of problem solving.
It looks really integrated now. Do you feel like there's a turning point?
No, I think I think there's lots of different ways you can describe what it is that we're doing using a lot of different frameworks.
So it's
just a matter of describing it with certain language, and then describing it in another way with other language.
Cool. In the problem solving discussion, kind of thread, I'm interested in that gap between the Blues Project awesomeness coming in and then the Matthews teachers not being as connected to it. Did you participate and content classes? Is there a way to kind of have them think about that partnership stuff also? I don't know the area as well.
It is. I mean, that's part of that case study. So one of the texts that I've added is a text about best practices in arts integration, looking at a lot of case studies of community music organizations and teaching artists coming into the schools. So we're going to look at all of that and then hopefully do some analysis of what's happening at Matthews and how could that potentially, if they were a teacher in a school that wanted to bring in a grant, how might they make a deeper connection? And that's sort of their final task, is to imagine that you have this organization coming in who's going to do these standalone lessons. How could you actually pull some of that work across the curriculum so that it is actually integrated? That's essentially what the project is.